Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Just waiting for you to show up. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Krista. There. People are here now. I feel better. It's always that awkward, really awkward few seconds when I wait for you that I wonder if anybody will show up. Good morning, Kathy. As you join the coffee this morning, please make sure you say hello in the comments. Let me know you're here. Let's have coffee this morning. Krista, thank you for having some sympathy for me. It is that weird piece. Tammy, I like your week off. I'm not going to lie, because I enjoy that you get to come hang out with us this week. It's good to have you. And I saw you were wearing your green shirt last night. Good job. Good morning, Mike LaBelle. Getting lots of messages since yesterday. You seem to, you and Angela caused quite the hubbubaloo on the old internet. Our WTF Wednesday was I don't know, like how do we follow that next Wednesday? That's what I need to know. I have no idea. Oh, you apologize. Yes, I'm sure. Okay. We will get going this morning. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Virtual Coffee Club. As always, if you've never been here before, we welcome you with open arms. Thanks for being a part of this. This is our place of connection and community that we do every morning, Monday to Saturday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And today, I always like to follow up, especially WTF Wednesday, because we really get going there. I like to follow up with a bit of Thankful Thursday. And I don't know, I think some of you who are on here having coffee this morning, Cheryl, did you get the white stuff? No snow here. Just you're lucky over there, I guess. Good morning, Kathy. Some of you who are on here this morning, I got to see your names pop up last night. So I had the opportunity to host a evening with Dr. Jody Carrington, put on by MP John Barlow and a few sponsors. And to be a part of that, it was so fun. If you are not familiar with Dr. Jody Carrington, I invite you to creep her on social media. She does live chats every day online also I think hers are at 7 or 7:30 in the morning because she's catching the before school crowd. And I think she does a lot of them in the evenings also. But she's written a really great book. She's got a really great outlook. And last night's conversation was awesome. She's also like super crazy and funny. So I don't know for those of you who were there what you thought of it, but I thought it was a really cool night and it was really, really fun to be a part of. And I'll probably be quoting her a lot moving forward, because I just really love the way that she has conversations and the things that she does. And it was a whole lot of fun. So it was really cool. Diane says, what a great Zoom call last night. It was so, so good. Mark, you made it. How are things down under? It's good to have you with us this morning. Tammy says, yeah, she goes live at 7:30. And that's just on Dr. Jody Carrington on social media. Liz, how are you? Angie Brown, good morning. So yeah, it was a really good night. And so the topic that we were discussing last night was just how you sort of deal with all of the things, all of the emotions, all the feelings that we have going through a pandemic. And we've talked about quite a few of those before, I think probably because I creep her socials quite a bit and get information from people like her and people like my friend Fauna and other great people who have this lovely knowledge of how we process a lot of this emotion. And really, it was just, I don't know about you, but let me know if you were there last night. I feel like when we left that after 8:30 last night, you just felt like you were going to make it through this. Like it's one step at a time every single day. And so I would love for you today to share something that you're thankful for or share a gratitude moment. And I've read a lot about gratitude over the last year or two. It's just been part of the personal growth reading that I've done. And gratitude is an extremely powerful place. And it's really helpful if you're feeling, because I know it's been really just such an emotional roller coaster across the country this week. I know for Alberta watchers, the latest lockdown scenario has come in for those in BC. Yours sort of started just before the Easter weekend. In Ontario, you are getting all kinds of restrictions put into place, including a stay home order. So it's a lot to take in for a third time. And so gratitude can be really powerful in helping you process going through that. So what are some of those things? Just even when you take a moment to express or acknowledge something that you're really grateful for, something that you're thankful for, it can be really powerful. So I would love you to share in the comments what you're feeling thankful for. Liz says she's doing good. It's kind of gray and yucky in Edmonton. Yeah, it's relatively cloudy here and kind of gray, but we don't have any white stuff where Cheryl is. Kathy says she was awesome. I was a Dr. Jody virgin. Right. And once you get a taste of her, you just want more. I get it. Tara, good morning. Mark says it's nice and warm getting into autumn. Okay, your seasons are opposite of ours. So it's fall in Australia. My homewares business is going well with market sales. I just wrote a new country song with 2 songwriter friends from Ontario, which is getting great feedback. So I am feeling really thankful for that. That's awesome, Mark. Thank you for sharing. Tammy says, I highly recommend anyone to read her book, Kids These Days. I agree with you, Tammy. That was one that when I first picked it up, I wondered if I should read it because it had sort of the marketing and kind of language around this book was that it's for educators. But as a parent, I found so many helpful things through that book. So if you have children in your life in any capacity, whether it's a work thing or you're a parent, you are going to get some insight from this book. It has been so good. Like I want to read it again. It was really extremely helpful. So I agree with you, Tammy, on that one. Trellis, good morning. Angie's doing okay. Good to hear, girl. Did you get your vaccine yesterday or is that today? How are you feeling? Krista says she's thankful this morning for her barbecue. Well, yeah, there's nothing like barbecued chicken for breakfast. I feel good about that. That sounds fun. Angie's getting vaccine today. Awesome. I've heard from lots of people, Angie, that it's not a painful experience. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Heather, good morning. She's thankful for the amazing Zoom last night. Yeah, it was so good. I'm sad that for those who weren't able to partake in it, it wasn't recorded for an after process. But I feel like if you are wanting to see what all the buzz was about, if you go to her socials, you'll get an opportunity. She basically talks the same all the time. Like the message is always along the same vein and it'll always pick you back up. So I think it was really good. What else? What else is kind of on your mind today? What are you feeling thankful for? What are you feeling grateful for? What's that thing? I was feeling really thankful for that last night too. And tomorrow morning, our Fun Friday guest is going to be our MP, John Barlow. That worked out really funny. So we're going to be talking about mental health and different things. So I'm really looking forward to that. Kathy says it was a hilariously great message. Yeah. And the thing that's funny about Dr. Jody, and I was having conversation with a few friends afterwards, is when she gets really animated and yelling, She gets this accent like she's from the Maritimes or somewhere, and she's an Alberta girl, so I don't know where that comes from, but it's almost like she breaks into character or something. It's quite funny. But I liked, for those of you who weren't a part of it, and I want to kind of share some of my takeaways from it. And for those who were there, please feel free to also put into the comments some of your takeaways from last night, because there were so many. Like, I feel like I was writing notes feverishly and just picking different nuggets out that I think would be really helpful. And what she was talking about is there's kind of three things that we can do in getting through this to help us move forward. Krista says what she's a clinical psychologist, Krista. And so her, by trade, she's a child clinical psychologist, but she works more now with those who help children as opposed to. So the three things that she talked about that we can kind of bring into our mindset, things that we can do, things that we can help get through the process, is not to doubt your capacity to help other people. So one of my favorite things that she'd said last night is, when you're acknowledged, you will rise. And so we have a really great ability and capacity to help this in other people by doing simple things like waving to people when you're driving down the road, saying hello to people when you're out for a walk and you pass them on the pathway, smiling at your neighbor. Little tiny gestures like that can build capacity in other people, because when you're acknowledged, you're like, oh, they said hi to me. That feels good. I love to throw in, I know, every once in a while, and I do it not just to, but in a really genuine way when I pass, because I've been out doing a lot of walking, as you know, for Team Vijaya. And what I really like to also do when I get the chance is to add in a compliment to that. So there was a lady I passed walking the other day where she was wearing the most vibrant, floral, wild baseball cap. This beautiful senior lady from my community. And so as we walked by, and I'd said hi as I walked past her, and then I was a couple steps past and I stopped and turned and I was like, oh, hey. And she turns around and I said, I just want to let you know, I love your hat. It is so fun. And the look on her face, my friends, was worth its weight in gold, because she was so thankful to receive something like that. And I don't say that in a braggy sort of way. It was just, I really genuinely thought her hat was adorable. And so I wanted to make sure I told her that. I'm hoping was a great moment for her. Whether it was or not, I don't know. But just something like that. Does that make sense? The second thing she said that we can do in helping us get through this, in supporting our mental health through pandemic, is reconnection. So you can reconnect in three different ways. By reconnecting to your people. So that's the people that are your safe space, your Switzerlands, your besties, the people where you go when you need that support and pick me up. Reconnect with them. Send them a text and let them know they matter to you. That's an easy thing. Reconnecting to breathing. Dr. Jody shared that she has an alarm on her phone that goes off every hour that reminds her to drop her shoulders and take a deep breath. I loved that. We can do that. And then reconnecting to your why of what you're doing, why you're doing it, why you're here, why you matter. And if you ever have question or wonder what that is, reach out to somebody. You can even send me a message and I will help you with that. And the third thing is pay attention to who you're sitting with. It's the whole adage from, I think it was a Jim Rohn quote from years ago, was that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. Same sort of concept there in who are you sitting with? How are you leveling up? If you're sitting in a circle of winners, you are going to rise to the top of that also. And just being mindful of who you're spending that time with and pouring into each other, if that makes sense. And I really loved those messages from last night. It was It was so cool. Heather shares that she is thankful, grateful for her new business venture that has reconnected her with so many people in her life. Yeah, and I feel, Heather, like we have a lot of mutual connections that I didn't know we had. I've been noticing on Facebook with your venture. So that's really cool. Kelly says, I talk to everyone. My kids hate it as I can always chat, as some of you may know. My husband says that I would talk to a fire hydrant. I love that. I know. I think my kid's the same way. It's like, can we go? Do you have to keep talking? I don't want to go to the grocery store with you because it takes so much longer. So Tammy shares, Kelly, I love that about you. Me too. I think it's one of your superpowers, Kelly. So don't ever stop. Tara shares that acknowledging people and paying compliments really costs you nothing, but pays such huge returns. That is so true. And cousin, I am so glad that you are hanging out in Coffee Club. It makes me feel so joyful when I get to see your name pop up. So thank you for being here. That's good. All right, we've got a couple minutes left. What are you grateful, thankful for on this Thursday morning? What does that look like for you? Yeah, I was trying to think of like what else was said last night that was so good. I have like 800 little post-it notes. I think my other big takeaway from it that I really got from her book, as well as her talking last night, and really comes into play, is anybody who is struggling with parenting through the pandemic and just being a little unsure on how we help our children navigate all of the things that they're going through with, you know, not being able to do sports in the same capacity or extracurricular activities or being with friends or just the current school environment, what it's like at home, all of these things. And her biggest message is always that we have to show people, show our kids how to get through it, not just tell them. And I really like that because I think sometimes we think we have to always, it's almost like over talking to our kids about how to do the hard things when we have the ability to really show them. And that's by just having them be a part of the everyday things. And that one really resonated with me when I read the book and was like, okay, I think I could do that. I think I could do that. Mark shares that he's very thankful for his Canadian country music friends like me. Oh, that's kind of you. Thank you. Kelly is going shopping in the city tonight with her daughter before they close the world down. Yeah. Oh, there's a big truck outside. Yeah, you know what? And just that time together, Kelly, with her is going to be a lot. I mean, who doesn't love to go shopping? It's like one of my favorite things to do. Trellis shares that she is thankful for the many great people in her life. That is so good, Trellis. Thank you for sharing. For anybody who catches this video later and isn't live with us this morning, please feel free to still join the comments and express something that you are grateful for and thankful for today. If you don't want to share publicly in the comments, that's okay. I am also a big advocate of just scribble it down on a piece of paper, whether it's one that you throw out later or something, but just take a moment to go through that process of writing it down and just acknowledging that thought of that moment of gratitude, that thing that you're thankful for, and then carry on. It will make a big difference in your day, I promise. And I appreciate, as always, so much. I can't believe like 20 minutes just like that today that you have come to hang out. Again, go check out Dr. Jody Carrington online. Very cool stuff happening there. I am excited for tomorrow morning. Our Fun Friday is with our MP for this area in Southern Alberta, but friends who live outside of here. He's a pretty cool guy, so you will enjoy the conversation. We're going to have a cup of coffee tomorrow and talk about just from his perspective as somebody in a level of government, and he's a member of parliament. So in Canada, that is a federal level representative for a riding. And he has really seen a difference in the tone and the talk and the content and the way people are talking to him from his constituency, and that concerned him. And now he's making mental health a real priority in what he is doing. And I appreciate that that is a stance that he is taking. And I know that we had a lot of things to say about government yesterday and our Fuck COVID Day. Those don't change, but we can hold people accountable. And what's interesting, I haven't had a chance to look it up this morning as of yet, but for those of you watching in Alberta, it's my understanding that last night there were 15 MLAs in the province of Alberta that have decided to stand up against their own provincial government and represent what their constituents want in not having such increased lockdown measures. So I encourage you to have a quick boo at your local MLA's social media today, because depending on where you live, yours might be one that is taking that stance. And somebody had mentioned to me last night as well that Kenny, who is the Premier of Alberta, has endorsed this movement and encouraged these MLAs for standing up for their constituents. So some interesting things are afoot and brewing. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to have Mike LaBelle back to give his 2 cents on that, because it's always interesting. Mike and Angela, the 2 new characters of the show. But yeah, it's good. So interesting things are happening. We're going to keep conversations going, and I look forward to having more of those. Friends, have an amazing rest of your Thursday. Thank you again for having coffee with us this morning. Appreciate you so much. You're incredible. You're important. And I'm so glad you're here in this world. And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.